Future Shaft just coming in, editing this video. I wanted to let y'all know it was filmed almost immediately after yesterday's video, soon after the BNR. And I think a lot of frustrations and ideas that come out in this video, I still stand by. I just wanted to provide some more succinctness and a bit more context for it. I think I still stand by a lot of the frustration that I have in this video, especially since we all learned that Nadu was made primarily for Commander. Its design was changed because of Commander design, and because of how late it was in the process, it wasn't tested for Constructed and ultimately broke a modern format. And I think that frustration around almost being True Name Nemesis 2.0 or kind of Hogak 2.0 is where my frustration is. I'm not necessarily upset with Commander players, although I think their play patterns and lack of, I guess, ability to communicate and kind of self-regulate a format without a hierarchy body is still something to say about the format. But I think at the end of the video, I invite you to join me. It's going to be timelined and everything to get a more succinct kind of summary of how I feel. I don't want to just blame EDH players, but the process in general for making this card really raises some alarm bells and just loses a lot of trust for me in terms of how they design cards. I do appreciate the transparency, and I hope we get more articles like this. It's just that the statements made were kind of insane. Because the Commander format is actually ruining Magic at this point. And honestly, I'm going to keep using that statement as a rage bait way to get y'all to watch this video, because as a Commander player myself that primarily plays Constructed Magic, I really hate how the Commander format has just really been rearing its ugly head, specifically with the banned and restricted announcement that we got yesterday. We got a separate articled section about Nadu, and honestly, in good faith to Michael here, who is the lead designer behind Modern Horizons 3, he made a great article kind of talking about the thoughts and the design behind Nadu, which I applaud him for. But some of the revelations that we got around this article are absolutely wild. And I just finished recording my video that you probably have seen yesterday regarding the banned and restricted announcement, but I really just needed to get this out here because after reading this article and just kind of ruminating on it, it's absolutely wild. It shocks me that design of Magic can be this bad right now. Because look at this statement right here from this article. It's separately linked. I'm gonna have it down below. This section here, in one of these meetings around the design around Nadu, there was a great deal of concern raised by Nadu's flash granting ability for Commander play. So for those of you who don't know, this was Nadu's original text right here. So it would draw a card or give you a land if an opponent's card targeted Nadu or any one of your other permanents, and it gave you Vidalcan Orrery on a stick. So you had Vidalcan Orrery on your command zone, which was fine. That's powerful. That's a good card. But for some reason, there was concern brought around it for Commander play. I'm sorry. Isn't this Modern Horizons 3? Isn't this is this not a constructed set for constructed play? 60 card form. Why are the Commander players voicing their concern here? Why does their opinion actually matter here? Like, I'm gonna be so for real. Why do we listen to Commander players in constructed formats? Not for the Commander product. If y'all got Commander product, fine, let them go wild. Because if Nadu was something designed and cared for with Commander play first and foremost, why was it in the constructed portion of Modern Horizons 3? Y'all already made Commander product for it. Y'all already did that. At least it was a separate product. What does this even mean? After removing its ability, it wasn't clear that the card would have an audience or a home, something that was important for every card we make. Ultimately, my intention was to create a build around aimed at Commander play, which resulted in the final text. Yo! Am I living? Yo, this has to be the Twilight Zone. Someone edit me in a clip of the Twilight Zone music playing with an intro of the original Twilight Zone. Like, I have to be living in an alternate dimension. This is wild. Again, as a Commander player that enjoys and loves the Commander format with a low power deck, multiple mid-range deck, and heck, a soft CEDH deck, one that is involved in the format, but first and foremost wants constructed Magic to succeed. This is wild. What do you mean? Yo, it's not, the best part isn't, we didn't even talk about the best part yet. Hold on. I missed the interaction with 0 mana abilities that were so problematic. Okay, fair. You know what? Shout out to Michael being honest. I'll give it to you. Again, I appreciate the transparency. Doing this article in general, big shout out to you, Michael. I appreciate you for that. The last round of folks who were shown the card in the building missed it too. We didn't playtest Nadu's final interaction. I hope my microphone is spiking right now. We didn't test Nadu's final interaction. What are you talking about? As we were too far along in the process and it shipped as is. F that. Nah, that makes me pissed off. You know why? Because we have made too many damn Magic products. Too many products. We have made too many damn legendaries. Too much commander. No. Nah, hold on. Hold on. Let me just get y'all, because I'm done with this article. Let me just kind of blow it up here. Let's just go to my okay. Let me just there's no script to this video. It's me being pissed the hell off. What do you mean? The process was designed. Like, look, as someone who does project management for work, right? Who, you know, it can be seen that project management is seen as like a fluff field and all that stuff. Fine. I'm not here to discuss that. But there, as someone whose role outside of Magic is to make sure things and processes are set in place, have time, have checks and balances to make sure that we have forecasts and ways to stop situations like this. This blows my mind that an organization that could be seen as the Atlas that is holding up the globe that is Hasbro, that godforsaken toy company, and has made multiple decisions that honestly I have backed in many ways. I'm genuinely happy with the direction of Universes Beyond as a way to bring new players into the game. But I'm not happy with with what is going on with this constructed formats having commander focused design be the forefront of the push and the ultimate release of the set. And to have cards change and their final iterations not be tested because the commander players were too mad that we got Vidalcan Ori in the command zone because y'all commander players don't want to play removal. Y'all commanders hate land destruction, don't want to play interaction, suck at deck building half the time. The casual commander audience is ruining the constructed formats that we all know and love. I don't know what to say. I don't care how egregious I'm being. I don't care what this looks like as a former Magic the Gathering ambassador, because that program's dead as well. As someone who's trying to help the game and not be someone who starts drama and screams at the internet. What is this article? What are you talking about that you didn't test this card? There is no faith anymore. What are you to believe? If a card comes out as busted anymore, what do you mean you didn't test Nadu's final iteration? Because it was too far along the process. Who approved that change? Who did that? I really hope that y'all can share this video, push it out there, get this message out there, because this is wild. This is a failing of the system. This is terrible. This is fundamentally a flaw in the design of Magic the Gathering cards. Like, I'm talking about how Constructed Magic is back. I'm excited to play Constructed Magic. But the sets that take our Eternal formats and rotate them, Modern Horizons 3 fundamentally changing the way we play Commander, Constructed, Modern, Legacy, Vintage, everything is changed, and y'all don't test the cards? What are y'all doing? What do you mean? Nah, because I don't care. Like, y'all gonna be in the comment section with your Twitter fingers talking about how I'm complaining too much. Y'all are mad at this? Are you? Yo, Yo, you have lost the plot if you think this is okay. This is wild. Like, I don't know how many times, like, I'm flabbergasted. I genuinely have nothing more to add except for the fact that this is what, like, I'm pissed off. Like, I wanted to make a video about the One Ring today, about how it's not, like, the price of it is ridiculous, and it's probably going to take over and that's probably going to be my video tomorrow. Because I was scripting that up, and I was really thinking about this one, and I'm like, yo, no, hold on. Yo, this is actually crazy. What do you mean that a card that completely broke Modern was Commander designed? Like, this was True Name Nemesis. This was literally True Name Nemesis 2.0, but True Name Nemesis took over Legacy. This took over Modern. This is True Name Nemesis. This is the second coming of it, right? Like, what? I don't know. I genuinely, yo, this got me so stressed out. Like, yo, I need to go to the clinic and get my blood pressure checked after this one. I don't know what to tell you. I'm actually just, it's just shock. And you know what? Again, shout out to Michael for actually making this article. I'm not blaming you. Be honest here. You are just being transparent. As a lead designer, I think a lot of people will put blame on in your place, but I think the fact that you are transparent and you're bringing this forward and later in the article kind of acknowledging the mistake and talking about some of the things that, you know, they're looking at ways to implement change internally, I'll give you props for that. I get it. I understand you're just trying to do your job. And you know, I applaud you for it. The fact that the system in place, though, can ruin consumer confidence this much. And Lord knows I don't want to turn into one of those Magic the Gathering drama complaining channels. Y'all know those creators that are out there with their face out there like, Magic is dead. Like, I don't want to be that. I love Magic. And I will sing the praises of it. So many of the videos that I do singing the praises of this game don't do as well as the other videos. The minute I write, wow, big tournament series announced, whatever, 1K views. But the minute I say, oh, the problem with constructed Magic, y'all be clicking, liking everything 10K views. It's like y'all want to see me get mad. And I'm showing y'all I'm mad at this. And again, there's a lot to love about Magic. This is wild. I'm trying to limit myself from just cussing out here. Look, I'm going to end the video. This is stupid. I don't know. We need to stop letting Commander players like take over our game. Like, I love y'all, but like, Commander's actually ruining Magic the Gathering. Future Chef here with my final succinct thoughts after a little under 24 hours of really thinking about this. And I think one of the things I'm most frustrated I did not mention was the fact that even though they changed the design of the card, it still was a busted Commander card, or it at least was an unfun Commander card. It still wasn't great for the format. It led to very much long turns. It was very much just a generically good Simic Commander, and you had to purposely make deck building restrictions or deck building choices so as to not synergize with the Commander in its current design. In this version, the player had a lot more options to break the Commander than it was with the previous version of Vidalcan Ori. You're just playing at instant speed. It was just kind of the exact opposite of like a Teferi Time Raveler. And in that sense, players could make generically busted decisions and kind of bring out different types of permanents. But in this case, the player really only had one option to go through. It was kind of build wide and draw a bunch of cards. But then even still, if you were just using the Commander for its value, it still led to relatively long terms, because if you were to use it for its value, you still kind of play a lot of cards, play a lot of lands, all that type of stuff, and you would still be more ahead than the other, kind of the rest of the table. So it shows that big hole in the design, I guess, strategy, the steps, the workflow, the project life cycle of designing a card, and how much there is yet to improve. And I think that's where my big frustration is, as I talked about in the video, the lack of process, the checks and balances, the fact that these steps aren't there, and we're able to make Hogak 2.0, and we're able to make decisions like this, like True Name Nemesis 2.0, to change our constructed formats again. A set that was designed for constructed Magic had so much of a hand for Commander players that it ultimately, due to the lack of good process, led to a design failure that honestly loses a lot of trust for me in terms of the design process. It's not necessarily that I lose trust in Michael, who is being very transparent. I imagine he might have fought to be transparent for something like this, or there was a collaborative effort to do so. And again, I really appreciate that. It's just highlighting the fact that there is a failure in the system. Is it great? Because I'm curious as to what the steps are to improve that. And they obviously don't owe that to us. And I think in that mutual environment, it again leads to distrust. The fact that you say you're going to improve this process doesn't really mean much to me as a consumer. It's not something actionable. It's not something that I can follow up with, because I necessarily won't be focusing on the better design cards, because there are a lot of balanced and weak cards out there. It's not very, again, aggressively clear what cards are good and what cards are bad. And I think that is, I should say what cards are good design and what cards are bad design is very clear, but the difference between like underpowered and good design can be a little shady for the average Magic player. And I think this gets into the whole psychology of the fact that, you know, you see a lot more negative reviews on websites than you do positive reviews. People are more outspoken when something goes wrong. And I think that's completely fair in a situation like this. People can, as a consumer, do better to critique and also be aware of things like this, which is fair. That's something that I might do, but not the average player. And I think this just brings up a lot of distrust, as I mentioned, in the system. So that's ultimately where I lie. I think the Commander design around something like this has really led to just the showcase of a big failure. As many people have said in my comments and everything, they're not really beating the allegations that Magic is now designed around Commander. There was an era where that wasn't true, but it's very much true that even our Modern Horizon sets, the legendaries themselves, you know, all the Commander players so excited, and I see them on Twitter like being like, oh, can we finally stop complaining about Nadu? I'm like, you know, y'all just don't get it. You know, like y'all can self-regulate your format and handle it yourselves because you're in a casual environment. You're in a environment that promotes the gathering. But constructed Magic doesn't necessarily promote the gathering to the same degree. It also pretty much, very much is, if not more so, about the Magic. It's about creating those big moments that you find on live coverage at RCQs, at Pro Tours. It still is about the gameplay, maybe not necessarily so much a focus on the gathering. So all parts of it are very important. Where I find that with EDH, it is a lot more so about the gathering itself, then creating the Magic with that. But at this point, I'm kind of just rambling. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. And I hope y'all didn't kind of click away at some of my frustrations, because again, I still do stand by some of it. It is kind of ridiculous. I just hope this final section here maybe provide a little bit more sanity to the rambling that I had. And hopefully some of you maybe share in some of those thoughts. Again, I hope y'all are experimenting and enjoying the new metagames you're in, whether it be Pioneer, Legacy, Vintage, or Modern. We're going to be seeing some gameplay videos come up on the channel later this week. I'm really excited to continue to test in the new Modern metagame.